5 minutes for opening statement.
Thank you so much, Chairman Brackeen, Ranking Member Tanadar, and members of the subcommittee. Thank you for inviting me here today to discuss our oversight work that improves DHS's execution of its mission operations while preventing fraud and abuse in its programs. My testimony today will highlight longstanding and systemic weaknesses that pertain to border security and immigration enforcement, cybersecurity, and emergency management. First, DHS faces challenges executing its day-to-day border security and immigration operations. We've issued numerous reports highlighting recurring problems in tracking and accounting for migrants entering and being released into the country. For example, we recently reported ICE was unable to monitor the location and status of all unaccompanied children once released or transferred from DHS custody. We also reported DHS could not locate migrants once released due to missing or invalid addresses, as well as the reliance on manual ad hoc methods for border apprehension and detention processing. Each of these deficiencies point to the absence of fundamental practices necessary for maintaining operational control of the border. The root cause of these issues stem from DHS's lack of strategic focus for cross-component collaboration. Automation and consistency would better enable CBP and ICE to keep pace with the fluctuating volume of migrants apprehended. Until these issues are addressed, DHS will be unable to maintain awareness of all migrants' locations once released from DHS custody, which may hinder immigration enforcement operations. Second, DHS's inability to consistently secure systems, networks, and data across its 22 components may weaken its overall defense against potential cyber attacks. Our recent audits of access controls, which is an essential cybersecurity practice, revealed hundreds of personnel who had either left DHS or transferred to a new position, but they continued to have access. We also identified hundreds of users with elevated privileges and access. And similarly, our audits of mobile devices identified thousands of prohibited and high-risk applications and thousands of devices that were not adequately secured. And lastly, our recurring testing of critical systems across DHS has revealed hundreds of workstations that were not receiving security patches or operating with the right settings. Collectively, our oversight has identified more than 4,000 security vulnerabilities over the past 3 years. But I will note, our recommendations have prompted swift action by DHS in the area of their cybersecurity posture. They've made continuous improvements and quickly remediated vulnerabilities. And I credit this to our in-house automated testing capabilities and methodologies that enable us to provide results before the audit concludes, as well as to our strong partnership with DHS officials who are responsible for implementing and overseeing cybersecurity practices. Third and finally, I will highlight our continued work to help improve FEMA's administration of disaster programs. While FEMA has certainly faced an unprecedented number of natural disasters and a global pandemic, it continues to operate in a manner that is not conducive to the scale or complexity of its current environment. We continue to identify astronomical amounts of questioned costs, totaling $12 billion in the last 3 years. And earlier this year, in fact, we notified FEMA and Congress of our findings, totaling $7 billion in funds that could have been put to better use due to the delays in closing out disaster programs. The results of our work demonstrate our dedication to promoting the integrity, efficiency, and effectiveness of DHS programs and operations. But we do remain concerned that until the department fully addresses recommendations for improvement, its components may be hindered to achieve these essential mission functions that our national security and prosperity rely upon. DHS OIG remains committed to working with this subcommittee and DHS leadership and other stakeholders to promote transparency, efficiency, and accountability. And thank you for the opportunity to discuss our critical work, and thank you for Congress's support in enhancing our ability to promote accountability and deter fraud against DHS programs and operations. And this concludes my testimony. I'm happy to answer any